Hey everybody, it's Jeff Antoniuk. Welcome to Digging Deeper Jazz. So I want to tell you about a lesson I had with the great James P. Johnson, the father of Harlem stride piano. The trick is he passed away about 10 years before I was born. So it wasn't really one of those traditional in-person lessons, but I learned so much from James P. Johnson, and I want you to know about this. This came up for me last week. I'll tell you about that. What we're going to talk about is the Charleston Rhythm. This simple rhythm. And of course, there's a PDF that goes along with this video. So please let me know if you want to get a hold of this. You should, please. So this rhythm, it's as simple as this. It's one and the end of two. That is the Charleston. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dot, 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 dot. That rhythm, but that rhythm can change your playing for the entirely better. Not only comping, and by the way, I did a comping video. I think it was Digging Deeper, maybe number 61, talking about this. But what I want to do is talk about it today in a melodic soloing kind of way. So that the rhythm is really that simple. It comes from a song that he wrote in 1922 or 1923 called The Charleston. It was for Charleston, South Carolina. And of course, you can go to the Wikipedia page for the Charleston. But it was this very, very important dance that became a huge hit. It has, this rhythm has its predecessor way back in West Africa, prior to the slave trade. And of course, that's how these fantastic rhythms got from Africa to the New World, slave trade. All right, so this is one of those rhythms. And now what do we do with it? It's that simple. You understand the rhythm already. It's one and the end of two. So what do we do with it? There are incredible depths that we can get to with this. And I want to let you know how it's going to fix your playing entirely. Last week, I was up in Canada and I was doing some teaching, and it occurred to me as I was listening to some of the musicians play, they were playing correct notes. They were playing good notes relative to the chords, or they were playing nice scales and, things that melodically should have made sense, and it wasn't really working. So what was the holdup? Someone playing with good time and good tone and correct notes, yet it doesn't sound at all like convincing jazz. What is going on? Well, the rhythmic aspect is a big part of it. And the Charleston rhythm really has in it everything you need to know about jazz. As I said before, it's a great comping rhythm, but melodically. So the Charleston rhythm. That's simple, right? It's got a downbeat, but then an upbeat. That's syncopation. And when I'm hearing a lot of adult amateurs, semi-pros, high school students, beginning college jazz students, the rhythmic aspect isn't there a lot of the time. And this is the best framework to get it going really, really quickly. And now, first of all, can you do the Charleston rhythm? I would put that out there, and I would want you to hear, I'd want you to play it and have me or somebody else hear that it's just right. There's a lot of ways to be early, to be late, to not articulate it correctly. And now, of course, that's what we do at jazzwire.net, is people are posting all the time. I can hear you. I can give you feedback. On YouTube, I can't hear you. Sorry, I'm trying, but I can't hear you. So that's one of the big things. And actually, while we're at it, we're having a 10-day sale. It ends November 10th. So it's ending pretty soon if you're watching this video within a couple days of it coming out. If you go to Jazzwire before midnight November 10th, you can help us celebrate our first birthday. For those 10 days, you're going to get 2 months free. You're going to save $100 at Jazzwire. So you'll sign up, you'll pay your $75 registration fee, which gets you a personal playing evaluation from me. You're going to send me some music. So you sign up, pay the fee, you send in a couple recordings to me. I give you a playing evaluation, a practice plan, and then 2 months free. So I really, really want you to take advantage of that to help us celebrate Jazzwire being around for a year. So the question is, what do we do with this simple rhythm? Yes, we can play it in our solos. Yes, we can play it as a comping rhythm. But there is so much beyond just a given rhythm. When I studied ethnomusicology at the University of North Texas, a basic framework of a West African rhythm, and then what fits in and around it is practically infinite. So there are entire cultures of music that are built on this idea. And so that's what we're going to get into here. So if you look on the sheet, you see item number 1 is literally the Charleston rhythm. Dot, 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 on, off, on, off. Great. The interesting thing is what can happen between that downbeat of 1 and the upbeat, the offbeat of beat 2. We could perhaps fill in those notes. So if you look at item number 2 on the sheet, we see 4/8 notes. Is that the Charleston rhythm? And to you, I say, yes, it is. We have the beginning on beat 1 and the end on beat 2. So the Charleston is dot, 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 dot. Now, da-ba-doo dot, da-ba-doo dot, 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 da-ba-doo dot. So yes, those rhythms really serve the same purpose. They have the same thing going on. They have that syncopation built in. So if you play item number 1 or item number 2, they have the same jazz feel. So I was talking to you about those students that I was hearing, adult students and high school students, and if they would have had some of this in their playing, it would have organized what they were doing a little bit better. Okay. So let's look at the third item, a quarter note and 2/8 notes. It sure doesn't seem like much, and it sure doesn't really remind us of the Charleston rhythm, but again, it is, especially with good articulation. Charleston, dot, 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 dot. Number 3 is dot, do, dot, dot, do, dot, dot, do, dot. And if you listen to how I'm singing it, loud, soft, loud, loud, soft, loud, I'm ghosting the in-between note. Is one way to put it, ghosting the note. So I'm hitting the first note, I'm hitting the last note, which, by the way, are 1 and the end of 2. Okay, so we can see how all these rhythms are growing out of the Charleston. Let's look at the fourth item on the sheet. Da, 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 da. 2/8 notes, an 1/8 rest, and then another 1/8 note. So these are all permutations of the Charleston rhythm. Let me play them for you. Now, all of that could have been a horn shout chorus on a Count Basie tune or on an Ellington big band chart. Like that, those were swinging rhythms. You'll hear people talk about, oh, those rhythms were swinging. Those rhythms were not swinging. And you may kind of wonder, like, what makes one rhythm swinging, what not? If it's based on the Charleston, it's swing it. That's what I learned from James P. Johnson. And by the way, if you have not heard James P. Johnson and some of the recordings, like an astounding, like a superhero of a piano player. So check out James P. Johnson for sure. And this Charleston rhythm. So I want you improvising with these rhythms. I guarantee, especially as a novice or intermediate jazz player, you are going to start sounding better. One of the other cool things is there is space in the Charleston rhythm, as in beats 3 and 4 are empty. Yeah, that's good. That's where there's room for a response to happen to what you're playing. So it keeps you from playing too much and getting, sort of anxiously talking too much, I guess would be the analogy, right? There's also the long and the short, the ghosted notes. It really gets us into speaking in the correct style. So I tell you what, I'm going to play just a little bit of blues here for you, and I'm going to use some of these rhythms. And it should sound perfectly natural. It shouldn't sound like I'm doing anything special, just because good jazz really does have this Charleston rhythm inside it. Here we go. Right. So a huge percentage of what I played there was this rhythm. So yes, I was very consciously playing and consciously thinking of trying to get these rhythms in. So it wasn't a fantastic solo. But if you were to sort of drop the needle, now that's an old reference. You got to be at least 50 to know what the hell I'm talking about with drop the needle. Anywhere in that solo, and it would sound like, yeah, that's a good line. That's rhythmically grooving, that's swinging. That sounds like someone who knows about jazz. That's what's going on here. So now I'm saying, if you're a novice, if you're an intermediate, you have to do this. It's possible you've internalized this through a lot of listening, but I've worked with thousands of people on Jazzwire, at Maryland Summer Jazz, in my teaching for decades, and most people need to be shepherded a little bit into these correct pronunciations of jazz. If I were to move to England or to South Africa, my accent would be different. It would be wrong a little bit. I would have to take some time and figure it out. That's what I'm suggesting you do here. This is going to be really good. I want to send you this PDF, so please write me, DiggingDeeperJazz. Happy to send the PDF off to you. This seems so simple. I don't want you to blow this off because, as I said, I got a room full of people sounding so good, so quick with this. I want to do the same for you. So remember, Jazzwire, until November 10th, $100 off. If you've been waiting on the sidelines, now's the time to do it. So I hope I'm going to see you at Jazzwire. And also, if you want to attend one of our in-person events coming up in Toronto, in Waterloo, Ontario, in San Diego, and in Pomona, California. That's coming up in December and January. You can go to jazzwire.net/events, and we can do this in person. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll be very, very interested to hear your experiences doing it melodically and comping. Have a great time with it.